Your paycheck is not disappearing by accident. It is being sliced quietly by the costs people use to treat as boring: rent, food, power, gas, insurance, phone service, medical bills, childcare, debt, and fees that feel too small to fight. The scary part is not one big bill. It is 15 ordinary bills climbing at the same time, while every company tells you the same story. It is only few dollars more. After this, you will see where the money leaks, why it feels impossible to catch up, and which everyday charges deserve your attention first. The first basic cost hurting people right now is housing, and this one is the monster because it attacks before any other bill gets a chance. Rent is not just a payment for a roof anymore. It is the gatekeeper for the rest of your life. If rent takes too much, groceries become stressful, car repairs become emergencies, and saving becomes a fantasy. The strange part is that national rent reports can say rent is cooling, yet millions of renters still feel trapped. That is not a contradiction. It is how averages hide pain. In April 2026, one national rent tracker put the median rent at $1,370, down from the prior year, but still about 20% higher than at the start of 2021. So yes, rent can fall a little and still be high. People do not pay a national average. They pay the price in their city, near their job, near their school, near the bus line, near the childcare center, near the place where life actually happens. And once you add application fees, security deposits, pet fees, parking fees, renter insurance, laundry, moving trucks, and the higher price of a smaller place, the rent number becomes only the opening move. Rent is defended as a market price, but renters are not shopping like they shop for cereal. They cannot always wait, move towns away, or grab the cheaper unit before it is gone. That is why housing feels less like a bill and more like a trapdoor. Your best defense is not pretending rent is normal. It is treating housing as the bill that decides every other bill. If it is choking the budget, the solution is not only cutting coffee. It may mean negotiating renewal terms early, comparing total move-in cost instead of monthly rent alone, searching outside peak moving season, splitting fixed costs, or making a hard location trade before an emergency forces it. The second cost is groceries, and groceries are painful because the bill keeps changing shape. People walk into the store with the same list and leave feeling like they did something wrong. They did not. In April 2026, food at home rose over the month, and over the prior 12 months the grocery index was still higher. Fruits and vegetables rose faster than the average grocery basket, and non-alcoholic drinks rose sharply too. That matters because the pain is not spread evenly. A family can skip steak, but it cannot skip every egg, apple, loaf, cooking oil, bottle of juice, and lunchbox item. Stores also know people compare sticker prices more than unit prices. That is where shrinkflation sneaks in. The box looks familiar, the bag still has bright colors, the shelf label does not scream danger, but the ounces quietly fall. You think you are buying the same thing. You are really buying less repetition for the same routine. Another hidden pressure is substitution fatigue. At first, people switch from name products to store labels, from fresh to frozen, from snacks to staples. Then even the cheaper options climb, and the budget has nowhere left to hide. Planning helps, but it cannot beat every price shock or erase a basic basket rising faster than a paycheck. The smartest move is to stop shopping by habit. Build a repeat list of 10 reliable meals, compare price per ounce, buy fewer drinks and more ingredients, and watch the items that pretend to be cheap but disappear in 2 days. Groceries are not just food now. They are a weekly test of attention. The third cost is electricity, gas, water, and the quiet utility stack that turns a home into a meter. Utilities are brutal because you do not fully control them. You can turn off lights, but you cannot turn off summer heat, winter cold, refrigerator cycles, water heating, laundry, cooking, and basic comfort. In April 2026, energy rose sharply over the month. Electricity was higher, and over the prior year, electricity was up, while energy overall jumped much more. This is why the utility bill feels personal, even when bigger systems drive it. Fuel costs, grid upgrades, storms, weak insulation, local rate decisions, and fees below the usage line. People often blame themselves and say, maybe we use too much. Sometimes that is true, but sometimes the home itself is expensive to operate. A drafty apartment can punish a careful renter. An old air conditioner can eat money. A cheap unit can become expensive every month because the walls leak heat. Here is the part many people miss. The bill is not only kilowatt hours or therms. It is delivery charges, customer charges, taxes, riders, storm recovery charges, and minimum fees. Even if usage drops, the bill may not fall the way you expect. That makes people feel crazy. They cut back and still lose. The defense is boring but powerful. Read the bill line by line. Ask whether the utility offers budget billing, time of use options, energy audits, weatherization support, or hardship plans. Replace waste where you control it, but do not shame yourself for costs built into the home or the local rate structure. A high utility bill is not always lifestyle. Sometimes it is a building problem wearing your name. The fourth cost is transportation fuel, and it hits hardest in places where driving is not optional. Gas is not just a car expense. It is a work expense, a school expense, a grocery expense, and a medical appointment expense. When gasoline rises, it taxes movement. In April 2026, the gasoline index rose over the month and was far higher than a year earlier. That does not mean everyone pays the same pain. The person with a short commute feels one pinch. The person with an older vehicle, a long commute, and no public transit feels a squeeze every week. This is where the debate gets uncomfortable. People love to say, just drive less. But many communities were built so driving less is almost impossible. Jobs moved away from affordable housing. Clinics are across town. Grocery stores are not always nearby. Buses may be slow, limited, or missing. So fuel becomes a required entry fee to earn money. The pump plays a mental trick. You see price per gallon, but the real cost is price times distance, vehicle efficiency, and every errand you cannot avoid. A cheaper apartment far from work may not be cheaper after fuel, tires, time, and stress. The practical move is to calculate trips, not just gallons. Combine errands. Ask whether one weekly remote day is possible. Compare jobs by commute cost, not wage alone. Keep tires inflated. Remove useless weight. Track fuel for 1 month so the real number stops hiding. Gas feels small because it is paid in pieces. But pieces can eat a paycheck faster than one large bill. The fifth cost is auto insurance. And this one makes people furious because careful drivers can still get hit with higher premiums. Insurance pricing is not only about whether you personally crash. It can reflect repair costs, parts prices, medical costs, litigation, theft trends, weather losses, local claims, vehicle technology, credit-based factors where allowed, and the insurer's own rate filings. That means a safe driver can still open a renewal notice that feels like punishment. Recent consumer reports and insurance studies have shown widespread frustration with auto insurance, and many drivers have adjusted deductibles or shopped around because premiums became too heavy. Modern cars can be expensive to repair. A bumper is not just a bumper when sensors, cameras, calibration, and electronics are involved. Insurers price that risk back into the pool. The controversy is that insurance is required in most places, so the customer does not have full freedom to walk away. You can switch companies, but you usually cannot choose no insurance without risking legal and financial disaster. Stop letting renewal happen on autopilot. Shop before the renewal date, not after the bill shocks you. Compare the same coverage, not just the cheapest premium. Ask about mileage, safe driver, student, defensive driving, paid in full, paperless, and bundle discounts. Consider the deductible carefully because a high deductible is not a discount if you cannot afford the accident. Auto insurance is one of the clearest examples of a basic bill becoming a moving target. The sixth cost is the car itself. Payments, repairs, tires, maintenance, registration, and depreciation. People often ask, can I afford the monthly payment? That is the wrong question. The better question is, can I afford the vehicle when it behaves like a vehicle? A car needs oil, brakes, tires, batteries, inspections, tags, repairs, cleaning, parking, and sometimes towing. A major auto association estimated that the average annual cost to own and operate a new vehicle in 2025 was $11,577, which is close to $1,000 per month. That figure is not just the loan. It includes the reality around the loan. This is why a car can look affordable on paper and become a disaster in real life. Longer loan terms can lower the monthly payment while stretching the pain. Rolling old debt into a new loan can make the next car feel new while the math gets worse. Buying a used car can save money, but only if it is not hiding repairs that arrive immediately. The system loves monthly thinking because it makes big costs look smaller. A $300 repair feels random, but it was always coming. Tires do not ask whether rent is due. The practical move is to create a vehicle sinking fund even when the car is running fine. Price insurance before buying the car. Check common repair costs, not just reviews. Be careful with add-ons in the finance office. A car is freedom, yes. But for many households, it is also a second rent payment with wheels. The seventh cost is health insurance and medical care, and this is where many families feel trapped between paying every month and still being scared to use the service. Employer family coverage premiums have reached levels that would shock people from a generation ago, and workers still contribute thousands from their paychecks. On top of that, deductibles, co-pays, co-insurance, prescriptions, dental care, vision care, and out-of-network surprises can make insured people feel uninsured until they have spent a painful amount. In 2025, a major health policy survey found that workers with employer family coverage contributed thousands toward premiums, while the total premium for family coverage approached $27,000. That matters because health coverage is often hidden inside payroll. People may not feel it as a bill because it never reaches checking. But it is still compensation that does not become groceries, savings, or rent. The controversial part is that many people are told to be smart consumers, yet medical pricing can be hard to see before care, hard to compare, and hard to challenge afterward. You can shop for cereal. You cannot always shop for an emergency scan. The practical move is to learn your plan before you are sick. Know the deductible, out-of-pocket maximum, urgent care rules, prescription tiers, in-network facilities, and whether a hospital can include separate doctors who bill differently. Ask for itemized bills. Appeal errors. Use preventive care when covered. Medical costs are not just a health issue. They are one of the biggest reasons a stable budget can collapse overnight. The eighth cost is childcare, and it may be the clearest example of a bill that is both essential and unaffordable. Families need care so parents can work, study, commute, and keep the household running. Providers need enough money to pay staff, rent, insurance, training, food, supplies, and safety requirements. Workers in childcare are often underpaid, yet parents still face prices that feel impossible. That is the broken triangle. Childcare prices rose strongly from 2020 to 2024, outpacing overall inflation over that period, and the national average price has been reported above $13,000 per year. For many families, that is not a side bill. That is another rent payment. Childcare math can distort career choices. After care, transportation, taxes, work clothes, and food away from home, a paycheck can look painfully small. Then people blame the parent instead of the structure. The controversy is that society says work is dignity, then makes the care needed for work brutally expensive. There is no magic trick here, but there are smart moves. Ask about dependent care accounts if available. Check state subsidy rules even if you assume you earn too much. Compare center care, licensed home care, family swaps, school programs, and employer benefits. Plan summer care early because last-minute care is where budgets get ambushed. Child care is not babysitting. It is infrastructure for the household economy. The ninth cost is phone and internet service, and this one is sneaky because connection is no longer optional. You need it for work applications, school portals, bank alerts, medical messages, maps, two-factor codes, remote work, delivery updates, and basic communication. The bill often starts with a clean advertised price, then grows through device payments, taxes, surcharges, equipment rentals, data upgrades, hotspot needs, activation charges, late fees, protection plans, and promotional rates that expire after the customer has stopped watching. Federal broadband labels were designed to make internet pricing clearer by showing monthly price, fees, speeds, and data terms at the point of sale, which tells you something important. The market was confusing enough that labels became necessary. Internet can get faster and even cheaper in inflation-adjusted terms while households still feel squeezed. Why? Because the family may be paying for more lines, more devices, higher speed tiers, equipment, and bundled services they barely use. The phone bill also hides a powerful habit. People keep paying for old plans because changing feels risky. Nobody wants to lose a number, break a family plan, or spend an hour arguing with support. That friction makes money. The practical move is to audit the bill twice a year. Check each line, each device payment, each insurance add-on, each streaming bundle, each auto-pay discount, and each expired promotion. Ask whether your speed tier matches your real use. Connection is basic now, but overpaying for connection is still optional. The 10th cost is subscriptions, and the danger is not one subscription, it is the subscription mindset. Music, video, cloud storage, news, fitness apps, security apps, meal plans, gaming passes, photo tools, delivery memberships, software, kids apps, and premium features all use the same trick. Make the payment small enough to ignore and automatic enough to survive. The old economy asked you to buy. The new one asks you to forget. A few dollars here, a few dollars there, and suddenly the account is leaking every month. The most controversial part is that convenience has become a billing strategy. Companies know cancellation is boring. They know people fear losing photos, playlists, watch history, discounts, or access. They know free trials convert when people forget the date. They know annual plans feel cheaper until money is tight. This is not always evil. Some subscriptions are useful, but a useful service can become waste when the household forgets to ask whether it still solves a real problem. The move is simple and uncomfortable. Open the bank statement and search for recurring charges. Put every subscription into one of three groups: used weekly, used sometimes, and forgotten. Cancel the forgotten group immediately. Rotate entertainment instead of stacking it. Turn off auto-renew when possible. Use calendar reminders before trials end. Subscriptions are not just entertainment. They are a test of whether your money is leaving by choice or by inertia. The 11th cost is eating away from home, delivery, and tipping pressure. This one is emotionally loaded because food is social. People do not only buy calories. They buy a break from cooking, a small reward after work, a birthday meal, a quick lunch, a coffee meeting, a dinner when the fridge is empty, and a delivery when life is too busy. That is why this category is hard to cut. But it has become more expensive in layers. Menu prices rise, service fees appear, delivery fees appear, small order fees appear. Tips are requested on screens for more types of purchases. Taxes apply. The final total can look nothing like the first price you saw. In April 2026, food away from home was higher than a year earlier, with full service and limited service meals both up. The quiet trick is anchoring. When the screen suggests a tip amount, many people choose from the options shown instead of deciding from zero. When delivery shows a subtotal first, the brain relaxes before the fees arrive. The issue is not that workers should be underpaid. They should not. The controversy is that customers are increasingly asked to solve wage pressure, platform fees, and business costs at the checkout screen, one awkward prompt at a time. Do not shame every meal. It is to set rules before hunger makes the decision. Pick a weekly eating out limit. Keep emergency meals at home. Compare pickup to delivery. Tip intentionally, not automatically. Eating out should be a choice, not a budget leak disguised as relief. The 12th cost is debt interest, especially credit card interest, and this is the bill people do not feel until it has already taken control. A credit card can save the day in an emergency. It can also turn groceries, tires, medicine, and school clothes into a long-term tax on being short of cash. Federal consumer credit data in 2026 showed credit card interest rates for accounts assessed interest above 21%. That means carrying a balance can make yesterday's basic needs more expensive every month. This is why people feel like they are paying and not moving. The payment covers interest first, and the balance shrinks slowly. The system is built around minimum payments that keep the account alive but do not free the household quickly. Buy now, pay later plans can create a similar fog. Each payment looks manageable alone. The problem is stacking. 4 small payment plans can become one large obligation spread across different dates. Then the checking account becomes a calendar of traps. Discipline matters, but it cannot erase that many people borrow for basics, not luxuries. When rent, food, gas, and medicine outrun cash, debt becomes the bridge. But bridges charge tolls. The practical move is to rank debt by interest rate, stop adding new balances where possible, call for hardship options before missing payments, and automate more than the minimum on the highest rate balance. Debt interest is not moral failure. It is a math machine, and the machine does not care how responsible you are. The 13th cost is fees, and fees are the mosquitoes of modern life. Small, irritating, and everywhere. Late fees, overdraft fees, convenience fees, processing fees, activation fees, resort-style housing fees, paper statement fees, returned payment fees, ticketing fees, service fees, delivery fees, administrative fees, and account maintenance fees all share the same magic. Each one can sound too small to fight, but together they turn a tight budget into a losing game. Fees survive because they are fragmented. Nobody holds one bill and says, "This is my annual fee bill." The fees are scattered across rent portals, banks, utilities, phones, travel, delivery, medical offices, schools, and subscriptions. This is why people underestimate them. A $5 fee 10 times a month is a grocery item. The controversy is that many fees are presented as the cost of convenience, but sometimes the no-fee path is slower, harder, or nearly hidden. Paying rent online may cost extra. Paying by card may cost extra. Calling support may take time. Mailing a check may be risky or impossible. Create a fee hunt. For 1 month, write down every fee, not every purchase. Then attack the repeat offenders. Change payment methods. Set due date reminders. Keep a small buffer. Ask waivers. Use autopay only when the account is stable. Fees are not always huge, but they punish hardest when money is already tight. The 14th cost is basic household goods and personal care, the category people forget until the cart looks ridiculous. Toilet paper, detergent, soap, toothpaste, deodorant, diapers, wipes, trash bags, cleaning sprays, shampoo, razors, medicine cabinet basics, light bulbs, batteries, school supplies, pet food, and small home items can turn a normal shopping trip into a shock. Recent price data shows household operations and personal care moving higher, but the deeper issue is that these goods are not bought one at a time. They pile up. You run out of detergent, trash bags, toothpaste, and cold medicine in the same week, and suddenly the grocery budget was never just groceries. Shrinkflation hits here too. Rolls get narrower, bottles get smaller, concentration changes. Multi-packs look like deals until the unit price tells another story. The trick is that household goods are boring, so people do not track them. Companies do track them. They know which products are urgent, which brands feel trusted, and which packages can change without causing a revolt. The practical move is to build a household inventory list. Buy backup only for items you truly use. Compare unit prices. Avoid panic buying at convenience stores when possible. Use simple products when they work. Separate household goods from food in your budget so they stop ambushing the grocery number. A home does not run on rent. It runs on dozens of small products that quietly became expensive. The 15th cost is the cost of financial survival itself. Saving, emergencies, repairs, replacement, and the future bills nobody calls bills. This may sound strange, but not saving is expensive. When there is no emergency fund, every surprise becomes debt. A broken phone becomes a payment plan. A dental bill becomes a credit card balance. A tire becomes a missed rent risk. A school fee becomes a late payment somewhere else. The basic cost people are struggling with is not only what they pay today. It is the inability to prepare for tomorrow because today already took everything. That is why small emergencies feel bigger than they are. They arrive in a budget with no shock absorbers. People are often told to save 3 to 6 months of expenses as if that advice fits every household. For many, that number is so large it becomes discouraging. A better starting target is not perfect. It is useful. $500 can prevent a disaster. $1,000 can stop a credit card swipe. Even $50 kept untouched is proof that the household can build a wall. Treat savings like a basic bill, even if the amount is tiny. Automate it after payday. Keep it away from the spending account. Use tax refunds, overtime, rebates, or sold items to build the first layer. Emergency savings is not a luxury. It is the bill that protects every other bill. So what is really happening? It is not that people forgot how to budget. It is that the basic cost stack got heavier. Housing takes the first bite. Food changes price and size. Utilities rise through usage and fixed charges. Transportation depends on fuel, insurance, repairs, and distance. Healthcare takes money before and after care. Childcare can rival rent. Internet and phones became mandatory. Subscriptions turned forgetting into revenue. Restaurants and delivery added layers. Debt interest made old purchases more expensive. Fees multiplied. Household goods climbed quietly. And savings, the one thing that protects you, became the hardest thing to fund. The lesson is simple. Stop judging your budget by single bills. Judge it by the stack. A few dollars more on 15 basics is not a few dollars. It is a lifestyle squeeze. Start with the costs that repeat, the costs that charge interest, the costs that hide fees, and the costs that decide every other choice. If this made you see one bill differently, like the video, comment with the basic cost hurting your household most right now, and share this with someone wondering where the money went.